ShinRobjira.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Rob, and I am doing voiceover work for all of this mostly still footage. Yes, I am taking my reviews in a different constructual route from now on, just to really give myself not only enough time to make sure the video is good and is working properly, but also to be able to churn out weekly and or monthly bonus content for now Patreon, which is becoming more and more of a livelier place now. Thank you all for contributing to the Patreon. So I'm going to try doing voiceover work for now, almost like a weird like little commentary track, just to kind of test the waters a bit. I still do think every now and then I am going to be doing B footage the way I did it for other behind the scenes videos that I've done. I'm just trying to really test the waters again, just to see what I can handle on a week by week basis. You know what I mean? So if you like this, let me know. If you don't, please let me know. That way I can go back to the B footage, like the original behind the scenes footage format of me just talking bullshit as I'm doing all the different things with the figure, and I can go back to that. So the Godzilla 2014 reissue from NECA. This was a long time coming. It was originally supposed to be the final part of this Thank You NECA trilogy that I had thought up, but it eventually just became the second to last part of this weird little trilogy. And I really do like this figure. I do think this is the definitive version of the NECA 2014 design, simply just because it looks fantastic. I really do think that it puts the SH Monster Arts figure to shame, especially in terms of paint. And I really, really do like it, and I do not have an issue saying that or backing that up in any sense of the word. So starting here with the comparisons to all the other Godzilla 2014 figures, I was asked to do a comparison for the movie monster series Godzilla 2014 figure, and I had completely forgotten that I had this figure, so whoever suggested that, I'm glad that they absolutely did, because this was a pretty good comparison right here. You can definitely see the very two-tone nature of this design and the paint job, and how NECA really furthered that with that dry brushing, that wash. I don't even know what to call it, but it really separates itself from the mold. And when it comes to the SHMA, the sham, I still really don't like this paint job at all. It doesn't feel right. It feels like Toho is a little upset and just took creative measures with it. And normally I'm totally cool with creative measures and kind of going in your own direction. But when it comes to this is just poor. The sculpt is fantastic, but the paint is just easily really, really bad. Ugh. So these are the three 2014 NECA Godzilla WizKid Mystery Minis and the NECA Crawler Godzilla 2014. Just really wanted to add some extra NECA flair in there for anybody that was actually paying attention to the comparisons portion of the video. And then here we have one of the Bandai Candy figures for Godzilla 2014, a Gashapon, the Light and Sound Godzilla 2014, which I believe is a bootleg. It might not be a bootleg. I might have messed up there. And then we have the Bandai America Godzilla 2014 from the Pack of Destruction. Yet again, all of them sporting the paint job that the original NECA 2014 didn't have. So that's what I was really trying to press home with this comparison. So I remember going through this footage when I was editing it, and I was thinking why do I have the original one in the center and not off to the side and the new one in the center? I don't know what exactly I was going for here, but I think it placed out pretty well with the video. This is why I'm really changing up my style and how I'm going to go about making videos from now on, just because there's going to be less of why did I record this. You see here, this makes a little bit of sense because I believe around this time is when I said I would be comparing the new NECA 2014 reissue to all the competently painted Godzilla 2014 figures that I have. At least that's what I was assuming. I think that's what I went with during the recording session. This whole week and the entire of last week was just is just an absolute blur to me right now. It's been really, really hectic, and I really do wish I didn't take a week off just to play the Doom Ancient Gods DLC. So this is pretty self-explanatory. This is the boxed Mark II or Mark III Godzilla 2014 NECA figure. Nothing crazy about this footage. This was honestly a mistake. I ordered this thinking that I would get the reissue from the NECA store, and I didn't. And I just thought, you know what, I'll keep it in the box, and that'll be it. And then when the review finally came around, it's like, I should really use that to compare it, just to show people that their version does differ from this, and here's the comparison. Here's how it's different. Doing the close-ups for this really sucked because you're still working with a figure that's in a damn box. It doesn't help at all. I thought, however way I decide to do this, it's not going to look the greatest, and it really didn't, but I was just trying to get the point across that the paint this time around is much more solid, and there's a lot less gloss. And again, when compared to the big boy, I would definitely say this is the best NECA 2014 Godzilla figure, because the big boy, in general, I'm surprised we got that, like, overall, just because no other giant Godzilla figures were made for the line, even though mine is a bit of a factory error, which I'll get into whenever I get around to re-reviewing it. Or you could just watch the original video, I guess. Definitely, I would put these two on par. And I do believe that NECA actually used the paint scheme from the bigger one on the Mark IIs and 3s of the 6-inch figure. So that's where all that random blue came from. The Bandai America comparison, and I, for whatever reason, forgot to put the little minis in there. So it's just the 6-inch figure and the two, I believe those were 12s, I believe. Yeah, those are the 12-inch Godzilla figures. And again, more comparisons to figures we just saw. And this is just some of the comparison footage, the kind that I thought was just interesting to show off, not like all chopped up into a square. This is the reissues nails over here, and then this is the original version's nails. I did see a comment saying somebody said that their nails were painted black and were glossy on their reissue, so I guess it was just another instance of me, just me. The two figures side by side, it's crazy, like, just how different they look from one another, and they're the same mold. Like, it really does show just how good NECA is at making Godzilla figures. And, you know, I do wish they still had the license. I do wish they were able to produce the figures on a much bigger scale than what we got. Like, their new King Kong figure is just, oh my god. If I could get that size, that level of detail and paint and articulation on a Godzilla figure from NECA, I would probably cry. But again, you can see here, it's the same sculpt, it's just different paint, you know? Another instance of them side by side. All this footage is completely out of order. Again, I'm just trying something new here. But I really did think that it might have been an updated mold just because how good it looks. But I really do think it's just because it's not glossy and it actually has color to it. You can see me here fiddling with this. I don't even know if this shot made it into the video. I don't even remember. It's been a hard week. I forgot. So here is another close-up of the reissue and the Mark II or Mark III figure still in the blister pack, the clamshell, I think it's called. Again, this kind... actually, I don't even know if I said that, but this was a little bit later on in the review. Like, as I was making it, I was like, I should definitely put this thing in the review. Since I have it, I should utilize it. So that's what I ended up doing. And... you can see me bringing the Mark I in there. This does actually have the audio from the actual review, because one of the new things that I'm doing now is that all the B footage that would be behind the scenes footage is all going to be the paint and detail portions of the videos now. That way, when I go to make behind the scenes footage of it, all the bloopers that are in there, if there are, I can just leave them in there with the phone audio in there. And if not, I can just, add this commentary. Hopefully people find it interesting enough. But yeah, I attempted to show off the different underbelly paint over here, and I think it came out pretty well. Again, I don't even remember if I used this or not. It's been a weird process these last couple of weeks, because this new format in which I'm going about talking about figures kind of happened by accident. It was when I was making this video and then making the 1954 re-review. Well, not re-review, reissue review. There we go. That's where I kind of just stumbled upon this, and it's like, dude, on a Sunday, I can just do all the B footage and I can record all my paint and detail gushing. And then on a Monday, I can do the intro and outro. And on a Tuesday, I can do all the articulation and map out any funny things that I can do or say about it. And I'm like, this is amazing. This is perfect. Like, why have I been sleeping on this? So that's going to hopefully be how I handle doing figure reviews from now on. And it's all happened by accident. And I really love how quickly things came together with the 1954 review. And I really love that I spent a couple extra days making sure everything was working and was funny properly. Oh, funny, quote unquote. So hopefully that turned out. And hopefully this new format will be liked by the viewers and you patrons. Okay, so midway through finishing this, I thought I need more than one shot of the reissue with the big boy, and it happened as I was editing it, and thankfully I was recording that day as well, so you couldn't drastically tell the tone difference in my voice. But yeah, I was just doing some close-ups where the paint was highlighted. I hate this here. My camera, like, you can tell when I do some of, like, the intro and outro stuff, it gets lighter and brighter. I don't know what I'm doing wrong with that, especially when it comes to white balance and all that. I'm trying to fix that. That's a thing that I see in my videos and I hate. I'm becoming a little bit of a perfectionist, I guess, maybe, or it just annoys me. But holding these two figures up together and seeing the difference in paint and in color in them, it's just so cool to me. And I really would have loved if NECA actually reissued the big boy with the reissues paint job with less gloss. I think that would truly be the ultimately perfect version of the 2014 NECA Godzilla figure. And now I think we're going into the intro and outro bloopers, so I'm going to stop talking and you can listen to me absolutely trip over my own words. I'll talk to you in a bit. Motherfucking hair. Okay. 3, 2, 1, and... What's going on there, friends and neighbors? Long time no see. I am ShinRobjira, and today I'm going to be talking about the NECA Godzilla 2014 reissue figure. A reissue and a repaint of the very first NECA Godzilla figure, the one that essentially started it all. Is it good? Is it bad? Did it improve on all the other versions of the first NECA Godzilla figure of all time? Did it improve on all the other versions of the Godzilla 2014 design that NECA put out? Because there are apparently 3 different versions of the original 6-inch NECA Godzilla figure. I have 2 of them, not including this one. We shall see, we shall find out. I will be comparing and contrasting a bunch of Godzilla 2014 figures, including the Godzilla 2014 NECA figures, of course. No. Okay. 3, 2, 1, and... What's going on there, friends and neighbors? I am ShinRobjira, long time no see, and today we are going to be talking about the 2014... What's going on there, friends and neighbors? I am ShinRobjira, long time no freaking see! And to kick things off with some pizzazz, What's going on there, friends and neighbors? I am ShinRobjira, long time no freaking see. Today we are going to be talking about the NECA Godzilla 2014 reissue figure. Originally thought to be a major retooling because everybody thought the tail was going to be like the 2019 one. Alright, 3, 2, 1, and... What's going on there, friends and neighbors? Long time no see. I've missed you all quite terribly. I am ShinRobjira, and today we are going to be talking about the NECA Godzilla 2014 reissue figure. A repaint, a retooling of the paint, and a few other things on the figure. A retooling of the paint and maybe 1 or 2 other things on the figure. This was absolutely not on my radar. But after I saw the climbing prices of all the NECA stuff, and after this popped up on Target's website, along with the Biolante Bile and the Hypermazer Cannon Blast Boy, I said, you know what, yeah, now might be the best time to catch up. And catch up I did. So enough of that backstory, let's get into comparing, contrasting, articulating, and all that other stuff with NECA Godzilla 2014 reissue. Terribly, terribly nostalgic, I must say. The figure, I think, is the perfected version of the very first NECA Godzilla figure. In terms of paint, the beefed up sculpt, which I think is a thing. Terribly, terribly nostalgic, I do say. I do believe this is the perfected version of the NECA 2014 design. And again, just the definitive... And again, when it comes to this height class, the definitive Godzilla 2014 figure overall. And again, when And again, when talking about this particular Godzilla height class, definitely the definitive Godzilla 2014 figure overall. That's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it. You can't convince me that SHMA did better than this. I mean, you could try. Just so terribly, terribly nostalgic. NECA came back and they essentially perfected their very first outing with Godzilla. I look at this figure and I remember all the nights that I was just fiddling with this thing, trying to get it into the coolest poses I possibly could. And this is essentially what began my relationship. And this is essentially what began my relationship with NECA, other than the NECA Deacon from Prometheus. And it will continue my relationship with NECA because, like it or not, the NECA Godzilla line treated us rather nicely. Sure, there's going to be a few areas in there where people just aren't going to agree, and that's perfectly fine. Overall, though, I'm happy. I'm sad. This is a fantastic figure, and if you haven't picked it up yet, I actually suggest you do because this is just great. This is like... The paint is perfect. Of course, there's some flaws here and there. Let's try and simplify this up a little bit more. Oh, so terribly, terribly nostalgic. NECA really came back and perfected their 2014 design. It almost feels poetic. It almost feels Shakespearean in poetry. It almost feels Shakespearean. It almost feels Shakespearean that one of the last major releases from the NECA Godzilla line is a repaint and a tiny retooling of their first outing. Poetic and tragic. I am very happy that I decided to pick this up when I did, and I'm happy that people were excited to... Oh, so terribly, terribly nostalgic. NECA really did come back. Oh, so terribly nostalgic. NECA really did come back and perfect their 2014 design. The sculpt was always there, but now it's just so much more fleshed out with all the different paint and a little bit of the retooling, especially when it comes to the mouth. Even with this thing's flaws, the speck over here, the smudge over here, and the dorsal fins kind of rubbed down to a nub, even then, I still do think this is the perfected and the best NECA Godzilla. Fuck! Jeez. Okay, we're gonna do this. Alright. 3, 2, 1, and... Oh, so terribly nostalgic. NECA absolutely came back and perfected their 2014 figure. And... in a tragic and poetic way, and it's kind of tragically poetic that one of the final NECA releases would be a retooling of their very first figure in the Godzilla line. I find it rather fitting because they knocked this out of the park, and you can't tell me any otherwise because the 2014 mold from NECA was already just fantastic, and now that it has a better paint job, it's definitely one of my top 5 favorite NECA Godzilla figures. Well, everybody, that's about going to end it off for this video, this review. But as some of you may remember, this isn't exactly the end of my little NECA outing. But as some of you may remember, this isn't the end of my little NECA outing. Yes, in a few short days, we will be celebrating Godzilla's 66th anniversary. So I'm going to be celebrating, in the only way I know how, by doing a NECA Godzilla figure review. Yes. You either remember or you don't. I have been ShinRobjira. I will see you all here on November 3rd and eventually November 6th. Oh yeah, before I end this off, the cutoff date is going to be November 5th. The cutoff date for the Thank You NECA compilation video is going to be November 5th. The folder is going to remain open just in case more people find out about it and I want to do an extended cut of it. So there really isn't much of a cutoff date, but if you want to be part of the very first upload, and maybe the only upload, I'm going to leave... But if you want to be part of the very first upload, and quite possibly the only upload, please do get your Thank You NECA entries into that Google Drive folder or send them to me on Discord or Instagram. I will have guidelines down in the description below, and now I will see you on November 3rd and November 6th. Thank you everybody for watching. Have yourselves a lovely day, afternoon, night, and weekend. Peace out, everybody!
Alright, back again. I hope you enjoyed those bloopers, however much I actually kept in. But
Here's the original thumbnail that I was going to use for the video. Felt a little too loud, a little bit too boisterous to be used. Now, the first thing that some of you eagle eyes are going to know, this footage was flipped in the review, and it's something that happened right at the last minute. I was about to export it, I think, a couple of days beforehand, and you're probably asking, "What, Rob, why didn't you just go back and re-record it?" I don't know. I don't know, but what I'm going to say is that I was just lazy. I really liked how everything turned out, and I just flipped the footage so it could match everything else, with the reissue being on the right and the original being on the left. I cut a corner in that, and I'm not happy about it, but I'm still happy with how everything ended up looking. And I think this right here wasn't even used in the video. I'm not even sure. But, yeah, so there was some flipped stuff. There was some flipped footage in there. And I don't think it's as, like, right now I don't think it's as bad. I am a lazy motherfucker for doing that, but I don't think it's as bad, maybe. Well, I'm going to avoid doing that from now on, honestly. But one thing that I really wanted to do was a lot of cut footage, cropped footage of like everything just side by side, because a side by side comparison between what's better on this figure than on the original was so very needed. And these dorsal fins are just the perfect example of that. They look so much better than the original. And the 1954 NECA Godzilla figure was my favorite NECA Godzilla figure for a long time. But when you look at the reissue and you look at the comparison between the dorsal fins, it's like, oh wow, yeah, the reissue definitely looks a lot better. And again, it's missing all of that gloss, and I think that's something the 95 and the 94 NECA Godzilla figures definitely could have used a absentee from. I don't have the reissues, the poster boxes as they're called, so I don't know if they were updated in that regard. They might have been, they might not have been. If I ever run into them in the wild for a decent price, I'll definitely pick them up and make a video on them. But this is another thing that the reissue just does better. When it comes to these dorsal fins, they're actually painted to like the angles of the fins. They're not just dipped. Well, some of them are dipped, especially when it comes to the smaller ones on the bendy wire portion of the tail. But I just feel like they look so much better on this, and it really shows how much better the skin was painted this go around. I mean, the comparison here, looking at the raw footage here, it's so like obvious here. Like, so much more was put into it. I don't know if this was like a rush job on NECA's part, or if it was just something that they really weren't paying attention to when it came to the assembly line and how they were being painted and such. I don't know NECA's, I don't know how they go about painting and making their figures, but you can definitely tell the attention to detail this time around was a lot more loving. And again, I don't know if we can attribute that to the communication between Warner Brothers and Toho kind of souring things between the three companies, but it is what it was. It was what it is. This was just to show off the position of the eyes over here, which I'm sure you could all figure out for yourselves. I don't mean to insult your intelligence, but when the first take of this, I commented on Godzilla's pupils being rather ovular looking from over here, and I'm like, wait a minute, that's, oh no. I'm like, ovular, wait a minute. Fucking biology whiz over here. So I ended up taking that audio out, and when I really looked at the figure, especially from the side, they were just circles just placed really weird and painted up really weird. But looking at my original 54 here, he's a little cockeyed, a little bit of walleye. And the teeth really, the paint on it really did age. Like, that's not like a defect. Like, the paint really did just discolor over time. And as you can see here, this is another flipped image, I believe. Oh, God. Whoa, lost my locomotive of thought here. But as you can tell, the paint on the teeth for the new one are a lot, like, it feels a little bit more heavily applied, and it definitely feels that way too. The teeth this time around feel a lot more solid and definitely a lot more sharper, and I feel like that can be seen from the different angles that I take of, like, with the footage of the new boy's teeth. But with the original, I still do think, those came out very well. I really don't have anything bad to say with the teeth. It's just like in some areas you could tell that they were scatteredly painted and such. It didn't look great, but it didn't look awful either. So, it is what it was, and I think this was like NECA's third or fourth figure. So I guess testing the waters is a thing to say, but with the reissue, it's like night and freaking day. Look at this, and look at the skin. The skin is... I love how they handled the skin here. All the raised portions, for the most part, were painted with a lighter tone of gray. It gets a little sloppy here and there, but it looks so much better. SHMA qualities. And I hate SHMA. Then we got another side-by-side of the figures over here, a little bit more spread out, really showing just how much better the skin was handled, how much better... Is that proper English? Proper grammar? Just how much better the figure looks the way it was handled the second go-around. That sounds a lot better. That sounds a hell of a lot better, I think. Hold on. Just doing a quick pause. Just to make sure everything is going. Okay. So now we are going to click play. So this was meant for like the zoom in on the two bodies to like really show off. It's like, okay, the original was messy in a few areas, and the gloss really did bring out like a lot of like little mini flaws, especially in the paint. Whereas with the original, you can still see some flaws with the paint, especially on the left leg on the reissue there. There's a little bit of clumping going on. But at the end of the day, it still ends up looking better because it doesn't look like a shiny black and white Godzilla turd, I guess you could say. I don't mean to be overly hard on the original, but when compared to the reissue just it's miles ahead. And then we have another Godzilla. I jokingly call it the Godzilla kiss scene over here because they're just so close. But again, it was just meant to show how much better the reissue was handled. And I made sure to get the dorsal fins in there, have the mouths open, have the eyes like focused on and everything, just to show that this reissue of the 1954 figure is so beyond worth getting. So with this next frame over here, originally I wasn't going to do a comparison to the 56 poster repaint of the 54 figure, but I did realize that it was a bit of an updated version of... Okay. So this frame here, originally I wasn't going to do the comparison here, but I thought since this guy does have a breath effect piece, there is a little bit of fun to be had here. And then I was taking like all the close-up shots, and I realized that this motherfucker's lower jaw is just jutting out so badly. And I really don't think I realized that when I first did my review of the 56 repaint. I think I absolutely just glossed on over it, and it's bad. It's really bad just how much that jaw just like it doesn't look very good. And here is where I do some poor stop motion here, where I just kind of slowly but surely open the mouths for that one shot where I say open sesame, which originally wasn't planned, and I listen to it now and I cringe and I want to punch myself very hard in the face. So yeah, this is just going to be me messing around with it, my freaking bit up thumbs, because I'm an overly anxious person and I bite my nails. I'm sorry, you didn't need to hear any of that. But that's all this was, and I can't believe I missed this with the original 56 review. And then this shot and the next shot is just going to be me talking like I did these shots to show a comparison of the two atomic blast pieces, most of which I do think they are the same pieces, just painted differently. But there were a few points that just kind of didn't add up, but I think it was just because I was looking at opposite sides of both the breath effect pieces and comparing them, and them just not adding up. So I really can't say that this is a different breath effect piece, but I will say that whether it's an error or not, the reissue's atomic blast piece angles up. So when it's in his mouth, it kind of looks like the atomic blast is just, kind of going at an angle up. It's a nice little feature that probably wasn't intentional at all, and it's probably just a happy little mistake on my part, but I like it. I like it a lot, and I still really do like the paint job on the 56 atomic blast piece, just because that orange that NECA used towards like the head of it all just looks so very cool. No, especially like under like blue LEDs, that shit glows. Speaking of which, this guy's pupils are so friggin' huge, and he looks so adorable with his mouth open like that. I don't know if that was an intentional thing. I don't know if that's a wide thing that's happened with everybody's copy of this figure, but there it is. So this didn't make it into the final video just because I don't like how it looked, but I was just showing where the atomic blast piece would sit in the back of Godzilla's head over here. I prefer this over back of the throat. It holds the blast piece much more in a solid way.
And now let's move on to some comparisons. And
then this is when I was attempting to move on to, like, you know, record a move on to the comparison portion of the video. It just never happened. I just used it as a still.
And now let's move on to some 1904 memorabilia.
1904 memorabilia. I meant to say 1954 memorabilia, and that's why it wasn't used. But yep, this is just the obligatory, hey, this is how you put the atomic blast in this guy's mouth, and I fail at it. I wish I was really talking there, but I wasn't for whatever reason. So I fail. I do fail at first, and I believe that was a different take. And then this is just some, I believe... this is the used footage I did for the articulation. I think that was more so of a blooper, though, because... no, that was definitely it. And then this is me figuring out just how loose this guy's neck was, and that's it. I don't know if the genesis of me just twisting his head back and forth with the atomic blast piece was part of that. It wasn't, now that I'm looking at the duration time. But when I say in this clip over here, I always forget about the arms being able to move up and down, I really do. Devout Motherfaller actually pointed that out to me a while ago, sometime around this time last year, and I'm like, God damn, you're right, I do fucking forget that. That pisses me the fuck off. What the hell? So I always try and make it like a thing now whenever I'm doing arm articulation, that I remember to make the arms flap, do the ugly chicken. And I'm trying not to double dip when it comes to it. It's like, okay, whatever one arm does, the other arm's going to do. And I'm really trying to stay away from like repeated, you know, arm articulation and leg articulation unless there is an issue. And this time around, there wasn't an issue. So I don't know why I bothered recording the arm again. And I really didn't have anything funny to add to this. So, yeah. Now, this leg was a pain in the ass because it really was hard to get it moving. And I believe the opposite leg, the knee joint, and like the whole knee, shin, foot, popped off of the fucking leg because I heated it up too much to get it start moving. So I really left the figure alone for about a month, and the leg doesn't fall off anymore. But again, this is just another instance of me recording articulation and not much really going on. I think I did this in a couple of takes, or I think I at least no, this was the take. This was the take with the paint chips. That's right. This might have been from the first time I tried making the video, which I started on a Sunday, and everything I recorded that day I didn't like, so I scrapped everything. I know I threw a whole bunch of or not even a whole bunch. I know I threw a couple of clips in here from attempt number 1, and that does happen quite a few times. Sometimes you might even be able to tell, but there are a few times where I do fully record a video, and I'm going through the audio and the visual, and I'm just not liking what I'm seeing. So that might have been from that. I'm pretty sure that's what that was from. Originally, there was a joke there, and then I ended up with the salt and pepper shaker Godzilla things, and I saw a couple people mentioning it in the chat for the premiere, so maybe it hit well. I don't friggin' know. But this is me just poking fun at the Bandai Movie Monster Series new 54 figure because it's awful. And then I have all of them together here. This is a shot that I really, really like. I like how it looks. And the shot after this, I'm actually going to stop talking because I love the sound that this Christmas tree ornament makes. It's the piece that was sitting on top of the Godzilla box set that was glowing in the review. It's going to come up right now, so hush, Bobby.
So, clearly, cut. Oof. Okay, let's try that again. Only this time, I'm finna leave.
So yeah, there was that. This is the 1954 Godzilla vinyl soundtrack. Why Heisei Godzilla was used, I don't know. You'd think it'd be 54, but it wasn't. I really just wanted to pull out as much 54 merchandising as I had. Whatever. I tried to bring in as much 54 stuff as I possibly could for this review, just because I really wanted to like sell. Like, I really do love the 54 film. And I really wanted to like show some like major appreciation for it because it's a beautiful movie, despite being kind of depressing. There's Frozen Shin just to... Oh wait, audio?
Recording on camera. 3, 2, 1, and 5, 4, 5, 4. All right, and now we are going to start with articulation. Up first, here is how you apply the atomic blast to your Godzilla 1954 reissue. Make sure the little holes on top are on top. You're going to want to make sure you get the... You're going to want to make sure... Now we are going to start articulation, but first we are going to talk about the application of your atomic blast effect. If you do not know how to do this, pay attention. Make sure the holes are on top of the atomic blast. Angle it perfectly, and then just... Okay, maybe not. Okay. Alrighty, now we are going to move on to articulation, but first, I'm going to show you how to put this thing in this guy's mouth. Ha! So make sure the holes are on top when you angle this thing into this guy's mouth. You push, that's it. It's in his mouth. It is going to stay there. It is not loose like the 64 version was, because I don't think that thing was even made to have that thing in his mouth. Okay, so anyway. You can look down pretty far. Look at that. That is just beautiful. Can we just, like, sun? Mwah! Beautiful. You can go all the way around at the head. You can go all the way around at the neck. And this guy's neck is kind of loose. You can go all the way around at the neck. And wowzers, this guy's neck is loose. You can go all the way around at the shoulders. And just because I always seem to forget to do this, he can flap. He can do the ugly chicken. Now, buck like a chicken! Buck, no! You will be able to go all the way around at the elbows and all the way around at the wrists. And at the palms over here, you will be able to bend in this far. Give Godzilla a nice fist, and you will be able to bend out that far as well for a high five. High five, Bobby. High five, Rab. High five, Rob. High five, Rob. You'll be able to go all the way. You'll be able to go all the way around at the torso. Now, I have not successfully made these legs go all the way around because I was too afraid, so I figure if I'm going to break it, I might as well break it on camera. That would just make it funnier, but it wouldn't be funny for my wallet. So as you saw, legs can go all the way around. You're going to get a nice bend forward and bend back at the knee. Nothing crazy. And you're going to get a swivel at the ankle. And that is going to produce a decent point. Whoops. And that is going to produce a decent enough, well, barely existent enough pivot at the ankle. Now, before I move on to the tail, I need you to look up, look down, just like that. Your eyes do not deceive you. Paint chipping. Ah! No. Oh! No. Oh! Ah! Ah! Ah!
Okay, so what you saw beforehand was the original first take, and then everything that you just saw right now leading into everything else, this was also part of the second take or the first take. I don't remember. So everything when it came to the articulation, all that was take one, that was attempt one. This is take two, attempt two, and you can see a little bit of like this is probably familiar if you've watched the video before, but this is part of the final. Wow, I'm just I haven't had my coffee yet, but this isn't good commentary. But yeah, this is from the first. No, this is definitely from the first attempt that I might have used in the final video. No, this is from the second attempt because this is when I make the salt and pepper joke. You see, I am not allowed to be a talking human being before having coffee. I shouldn't be allowed to do that at all. But yeah, this is absolutely from the second attempt, and this is me doing articulation and yada yada yada, just spinning stuff, making stuff look cool, and then there's the tail bend right there. And yeah, oh man, I'm going to start properly labeling like all of my footage before I just toss it into Final Cut Pro from now on. I promise you. This was very last minute. I really wanted to get this out before at least Wednesday of the week of November 8th. So I apologize for some of the hastiness in all of this. It will get better if you even like this format. I don't know how much would be different over here. I'd probably just be commenting on the figure and the paint and some of the weird little quirks as I have with the behind the scenes footage beforehand. So I don't know how much different this would be. Here's that shot again, which I do believe I took after that failure of a transition into the comparisons portion. I think there was like a blur or something, but this was a last minute inclusion too. The thing on the left is a cigarette holder and a lighter, and then it's the Zippo lighter, and then it's an ashtray. I only ever used the cigarette case that doubled as a lighter. I think an ex-girlfriend or something got that for me for Christmas, all three. So yeah, there's that. And now this is like going to be the newest part of how I'm going to end up doing reviews from now on. I brought the green screen back. Well, yeah, I brought the green screen back, and I'm going to try and include myself a little bit more in reviews, especially for the comedic stuff, and especially for, the little hints and glints of lore that I'm going to toss in there. But this was just mostly like a lighting test, and I was going to use the key. I mean, you could tell my hair's a fucking mess. I think I'm just doing dumb shit over here. I was under the impression that I might use some of that during the video, but I didn't. So intros and outros are going to be with the green screen, and I'm going to record a couple of face cam jokes just to throw in to the review to make them a little bit more engaging, maybe make them a little bit more funny. I don't know why the hell I'm making these stupid fucking faces, but yeah, I don't know what I'm doing here either, but it's just a weird little thing that I did. And again, with this fucking face and that goddamn... I think this might have actually been for something else that I was working on at the time, but yeah, me fixing my hair because I need a haircut and I hate my long hair and I hate how it makes me look. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to comment on any of this at all, honestly. I was just it was a weird creative day that day, and I didn't use any of this obviously because it's nonsensical and I have poor body image, and I guess I'm dancing. I think I was listening to the new James Blake EP at the time. Oh God, that's terrible. 3, 2, 1, and that's it. This felt a little bit more proper, and on what better day to close off the NECA reviews than on Godzilla's own birthday. Not to get overly sentimental, but the reason why I did this, the reason why I'm doing this thank you NECA segment is mainly just because I owe NECA like pretty much like all of my success on this channel. I really do. NECA mean a lot to me. I know NECA mean a lot to some of you out there. And it really is going to suck not having their $25 to $30 figures out on the market with new releases, like 2 to 3 new releases coming out a year. It's gonna suck. And I'm feeling kind of feelsy today on Godzilla's 66th anniversary, just because where would this channel be without Godzilla? As much as I hate to admit it sometimes, I really do owe Godzilla everything on this channel, you know? And I don't mean to say what I said with any ill intent, it's just sometimes I feel like, and I don't mean what I just said with any ill intent whatsoever. I am very thankful for Godzilla, for bringing you lot here, for bringing people who I consider honest friends here, bringing everybody here. It's like, yeah, I'd like to talk about some other things every now and then without, you know, feeling like I've done something wrong. And you know, I'm feeling kind of feelsy today on Godzilla's 66th. And you know, I'm feeling kind of feelsy today on Godzilla 66 because... And you know, I'm feeling kind of feelsy today on Godzilla 66th because... Where would I be without Godzilla? Where would this channel be without Godzilla? Like, regardless if it's NECA, SH Monster Arts, Bandai Movie Monster Series, regardless of any of that, like, I really do owe all of my successes to Godzilla, no matter the brand, and I'm thankful that I am part, and I'm thankful to be a Godzilla fan. I'm thankful to have everybody I have as subscribers and such, and it's going to be really weird not having NECA around anymore, and, well, I just hope that Godzilla's 66th will be as eventful as it's really turning out to be. At the time of recording, if there's any crazy announcements to come out of the online Godzilla festival, well, I really don't know them yet, but I do know a few things that I can't... They may or may not be confirmed yet, but I have been ShinRobjira. I hope you enjoyed what won't be the final NECA Godzilla review on this channel, realistically, because I was looking at some of those Rob's Godzilla Room reviews, NECA ARC reviews, and let's just say I definitely think I can do better than that. So maybe sometime next year or in 2022, I'll find my way back to the NECA Godzilla line and do a nice little Rob's Godzilla Room review. And maybe I'll do a nice little Rob's Godzilla Room Reviews NECA ARC Mark II. Because some of those, you can clearly tell I was burnt out and I don't like that anymore. So, and I really don't like that, so. Well, let's just start all over. Okay, starting all over. And that is it, everybody. It's going to be really weird not having new NECA Godzilla releases next year. It really, really is. You know, with the announcement, it didn't really hit me, but now, like, you know, we're in November now. We got one more month left of 2020. And it's just now hitting me that 2021 isn't going to have any NECA Godzilla releases, and that's weird because for the past 6 years, it's just been such a treat having NECA developing figures for us. And I'm not gonna lie, even though I don't hate the Playmates line, I really, really am going to miss NECA. I feel like they were just getting there too, you know? Like this 1954 reissue, the 2014 reissue, the 89 and 2003 figures and their subsequent repaints. It just feels like they were right about there. Feeling kind of feelsy today on Godzilla 66 because now I'm really realizing, where the heck would I be without Godzilla? Would you guys even be subscribed to this channel? I'm starting to like really think about everything. It's like, I owe a lot to Godzilla. I owe 95% of my success to Godzilla. And sometimes I think I forget about that. And if it comes off as if I'm ungrateful or whatever, I apologize. I am increasingly grateful for everything that's happened on this channel and for Godzilla. It's just, sometimes I want to talk about something else. But anyway, but I do love Godzilla and I do appreciate Godzilla. And next year I will be talking about a lot of Godzilla stuff, a lot of Evangelion stuff, a lot of different stuff. That's actually one of my goals for next year. And next year I am going to be talking about quite a lot of Godzilla stuff. We're going to have a lot of releases next year, I imagine. So, thank you all for being here throughout. So, thank you all for being here. So, thank you all for being subscribers. Thank you all for being so cool and watching my videos, whether they're Godzilla related or not. And I can't honestly say this is going to be the last bout of NECA Godzilla reviews, because I was going through the NECA arc reviews for Rob's Godzilla Room reviews way back in the early days of Rob's Godzilla Room reviews, and I sound burnt out to heck, and I wasn't even trying to hide it. So maybe late 2021, early 2022, we'll revisit the NECA Godzilla line in a different way, in a different format, and I'll right the wrongs that I oh so wrongly wronged. But anyway, I've been going on long enough. I have been ShinRobjira. Thank you all for watching. A very happy birthday to you, the Big G. A very happy 66. A very happy 66 years to our boy, the Big G. And I will see you all next week, next Friday, with a brand new video. Peace out, everybody.
And that's it, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this weird, little commentary, behind-the-scenes hybrid thing. I was thinking about just totally removing audio from the videos and just doing commentary over those for the most part, but I didn't think that was cool enough, and there really wasn't many figure wise bloopers from these two videos, and I hope you don't mind that I put them both together. Just to I didn't want to work on one and then work on the other. I just really needed to start getting behind the scenes stuff out, because a decent portion of October I just had no behind the scenes content because I was going through the heat wave, and the changes going on in personal life were going on. So it was a mess, and this is a bit of a mess, I will admit it, but I promise you, when I'm talking about just one figure for a behind the scenes portion, it'll be a lot neater, and you can judge from that one. So anyway, I'm ShinRobjira. Hope you enjoyed, and I will see you all on Friday with not a review of the Bandai Spirits Ava Girls. I am actually going to be doing the Playmates Gigan, because my plan right now is to do Playmates Gigan on Friday, which would be, I think, November 13th. Hold on, double checking. Yeah, that would be November 13th. And then I am going to do my very best to have that done by Wednesday, and then record the Bandai Spirits Ava Girls review for a Tuesday and Wednesday release for the following week, with the Mega House Desktop Army Ava Girl review for that Friday. So I'm gonna try. I have an Ultraman Tiga figure coming in then. I have the new heavy painted Mecha Godzilla Kiryu figure coming in from the Godzilla store. I'm trying to do as much as I can so I don't have to push any particular reviews back. So yeah, it's a mess right now. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed. I'm Rob. I love you. Thank you for fucking subscribing to this Patreon page. I hope it's not too chaotic, and I promise I will have more benefits coming up soon as the channel grows. But yeah, thank you. I love you. See you next time.